Now, with less than 50 games remaining on the 2018 schedule, Colorado is within striking distance of their goal.
There's hero baseball!
But the Los Angeles Dodgers, division winners for 5 straight seasons, are looking to keep the title for themselves. After losing 5 of their first 6 matchups this season, Colorado won the last series versus LA to kick off one of the hottest months in franchise history.
Fun times at Coors Field.
Tonight, the hometown 9 kick off a 4-game set against the revamped Dodger lineup and look to take over first place atop the crowded NL West standings. Dodgers, Rockies, next.
Here come the Rockies. Take a good look. You will see it for all.
Well, we kick off the weekend on a Thursday when there's a 4-game set, and that's what the Rockies are embarking on with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Rockies 3-6 against the Dodgers so far this year. There are going to be big crowds at Coors Field. We have a lovely night to begin the series. The Dodgers come in. They're a half game back of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Rockies are 3 games off the pace. This is as close as they've been to the top spot in the division since August the 9th, 1996. And so you understand the importance of this series. The Rockies, as I'm sure you're well aware, have never won the National League West. Tyler Anderson ready to go. One of the 2 new and most prominent Dodgers recently acquired Brian Dozier, the Minnesota Twins, from the Minnesota Twins. He'll lead things off. Southwest batting order for Dave Roberts. And the other new guy, Manny Machado, the all-star from Baltimore. He'll bat in the 2 spot. Then Justin Turner, healthy again. He's always given the Rockies fits, as has Matt Kemp. Cody Bellinger, last year's Rookie of the Year, will bat 5th. Then it's Kike Hernandez, Yasmani Grandal, who homered yesterday. Chris Taylor will bat 8th. He'll be in left field. And then it's Ross Stripling on the mound. He just returns from the disabled list, in fact. Tyler Anderson, like start after start of late. We just talk about his previous start being glowing. Well, in this particular case, his last start was a rough one.
Yeah, it was against Milwaukee. 4 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs. Gave up 6 of those in that first inning. And for Tyler, it was a little bit of the release point issue that he had. But his numbers here at Coors Field, they're just spectacular. And that game against the Dodgers back on June 29th, where he went 8 innings, gave up just 4 hits, had 8 strikeouts, really had the cut fastball working in that game, and look for it to play again tonight.
The biggest key, you harped on it, and we have said it, and I said this last night, ad nauseum this year, the first inning. First inning, first inning, first inning. Get off the field without any damage. And his first inning ERA is over 9.
Just put you behind the 8 ball from the get-go. You're so excited. You go out there, you run out to the field, and then it's a 10, 12, 15-minute first inning, and it just saps some of the energy out of you.
Here's the 1-1 on Dozier, who's one of those leadoff threats, who's also a home run threat. In fact, the last 5 years, he's led the Twins each season in home runs, and he was leading them in home runs at the time of his trade. He's hit a couple of home runs in a Dodger uniform. In fact, in his first 2 games with LA, he homered.
Yeah, it's 16 home runs, 52 RBIs for the Twins. Wasn't hitting for a high average, it's just 224. But he does have that thump.
And that is line foul. He's way out in front. You see a lot of those types of foul balls against Tyler because of the great changeup. So we mentioned the rough first inning, not only for the Rockies, Tyler with the 9+ in the first inning, but after the first inning, Tyler has a 258 earned run average. So get through that first. And that's a good looking pitch. Strike 3. You're right. James Hoy at first base. No question he went. And Dozier is a strikeout victim. 1 gone.
And that was the cutter that I mentioned a moment ago that get the 2 strikes, get Dozier to think, well, it's not going to be, but yes, it is. He definitely swung on the Subaru Supermo. That bat went around. You can see a little bit of a red dot, kind of the slider action, but it is a cut fastball just because of how hard it was at 89 miles an hour.
Now Manny Machado, who, believe it or not, The Rockies have played Baltimore a bunch the last few years, but it's always at Camden Yards. Manny Machado has never played at Coors Field. And he takes strike one on the outside corner. Jeff Kellogg's the crew chief, good umpire. He's got the gear on, and at first we mentioned James Hoy. Quinn Walcott is at second, and at third is Sean Barber. Near the bottom of the zone, called a ball, 1-1.
With a little bit of a quick pitch to Machado.
And that's a good cutter in.
It's a good sign early on from Tyler. I know we're just 6 pitches in, or 8 pitches in, excuse me.
You get a good feel, though.
You do. And that's why I was saying that's good. You struck out Dozier with one and then just get that swing on Machado.
One, two, shows fastball away, and that could have been called a strike. That's at 94. We were talking to Oral Hershiser, the great former Dodger and now a broadcaster, comparing notes, and said, Tyler, every once in a while, he'll go 94, 95, and your eyes open up. He can go do that. Here's Oral with Joe Davis next door on the Dodgers television side.
Everybody remembers Oral as the Bulldog.
Think about that run. Was it 59?
50, yeah.
Innings of shutout baseball. You kidding me? That's a joke. 3-2 back up the middle, and DJ can't get it, so Machado reaches. One out. Justin Turner will be coming up. Let's take a look at how the Rockies align defensively tonight. David Dahl, he's been swinging the bat. You know how talented he is, so every day he's checking the scorecard. He's in there. He just doesn't know which outfield spot. He went center, left, right. Now it's back to left. You see Cargo's back in there as a starter this evening. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Desmond. Desi had the last 2 ball games off. Chris Iannetta doing the catching. Anderson has a very good move.
He's always been called for a few balks, but that's how good his move is. It's right on the edge.
Machado will run. He's got 11 stolen bases this year. It's funny, he's so well known for his prodigious offensive numbers and his great glove that you may not be aware he's got pretty good speed.
Yeah, he had 8 stolen bases for the Orioles, 3 here now with the Dodgers.
He's been caught just 1 time this year. And that is line caught by Nolan. Throw back to first, and I was worried about that. That was in the dirt, and that's probably a ball Nolan wants back. Not only because it was low, it was unnecessary to throw it because Machado was not far off the bag.
Nope, he wasn't. But Nolan is so gifted and thinks he can make every single play.
And you know what? Watch here. I think Desi, instead of scooping, would try to block it ordinarily, but I thought his leg may have been caught up by the presence of Machado.
No.
No?
He just tried to scoop it and went off the bottom portion of the glove on the Subaru Supermo, so that'll be an error on Nolan, his 9th.
Hopefully that's not costly. Matt Kemp at the plate. Kemp had a huge first half, an all-star. Talked about it. A real surprise for the Dodgers, but he has struggled so far in the second half. In fact, he had a hit a couple of days ago that snapped an 0 for 26, which was the longest 0 for of his career.
He only has 2 hits since July 24th. But still, it's Matt Kemp.
Yeah, you can take those stats and throw them out the window because that's a man with a big presence at the plate. Right now, Tyler's working ahead 0-2. Machado at second. Popped up and out of play. I'm looking out right now at the crowd, Huey, and it has the Denver folks taken a page from Los Angeles and they're late arriving?
Because they're playing the Dodgers? Is that what you're? That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm insinuating. Yeah, because you can tell by where people are seated that it's going to be a huge crowd, but there's a lot of pockets of empty seats right now. Another 0-2.
See ya.
Could have been 1-2.
It was just a skosh off the Subaru strike zone. That's a great location on an 0-2 pitch.
'18th pitch of the first inning, and that's a little low. 2-2. Way inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes now.
Now, what does Tyler feel comfortable with? Is it the cutter or the changeup?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of the two.
I think it's going to be the cutter.
And you know what? I'll throw my vote in the changeup box.
Okay.
We'll see. 3-2. Cutter, strike 3 on the outside corner. Huey, you're right. And Tyler Anderson, more importantly, was right. Machado left at second. Blackman at the top of the order next. Home runs. The Rockies are facing the All-Star Ross Stripling, who's had a little bit of a toe injury. I think wink, because they utilize that disabled list with LA better than any team in baseball. They have a lot of depth in their rotation, and for now it'll be Stripling, but he could be headed to the bullpen. Here's the Southwest batting order for the Rockies. LeMahieu, Cargo, top 3. Nolan again in the 4th spot the last 4 games. Trevor Story, David Dahl, Ian Desmond, Chris Iannetta, and Tyler Anderson. The Rockies saw Ross Stripling earlier in the year, and they have some quality at bats against him. This will be his 28th appearance, his 17th start of the year. The thing that jumps off the page at you, he has struck out more batters than innings pitched, and he has walked only 15.
Yeah, those are the ones. And you know, righties and lefties, it's about the same difference as far as batting average. Righties hitting 256, lefties 250. His curveball is a lot harder this year than it was last year. Rick Honeycutt, their pitcher, is saying, hey, just make sure you throw it really hard. Don't try to loop it up there. And evidenced by that pitch. And Stripling's a big guy, too, 6'3", 210 pounds, but the Rockies did see him back in July. 9 hits off him in 6 innings and 4 earned runs, but he did have 7 strikeouts in that game.
He's ahead of Charlie 0-2. Shift is on. Cut fastballs up. Charlie in the game yesterday 2 for 5. In the game, the middle game of that set against Pittsburgh on Tuesday, he was 2 for 4.
Remind
he
me,
had Monday off.
Did Stripling go out of the stretch the whole game in LA?
Now I'm trying to think, because I'm not sure. And this is 2 hopper to the left side and an easy play for Turner. 1 out. Dodgers, by fielding percentage, are the 9th ranked team in Major League Baseball. Manny Machado's now playing short. Of course, Corey Seager, a couple of surgeries. He had the elbow surgery, and this week he had hip surgery. They say he's going to be ready for spring training, full go when it begins. Taylor, Hernandez, and Kemp in the outfield. Bellinger at first. So your 2 middle infielders are all brand new to Dodger blue. And Grandal is the starting catcher. See Austin Barnes periodically behind the plate. Good receiver. 1 out. Here's DJ. One thing I've noticed, and at some point I'm thinking, and Huey, at times in your career you hit near the top of the lineup, you got to change the scouting report.
So maybe ambush the first
pitch. You got to
pitch.
Ambush a little bit, don't you? Because now guys are getting free strikes against Charlie and DJ, it seems, quite a bit.
Yeah, so they're automatically ahead, especially somebody like Stripling.
This ball is hitting the air to left center field. He got the barrel on it, but underneath it a little bit. Taylor's out there, 2 outs.
When a guy like Stripling, Drew, that only has the 15 walks in 104 innings, you know he's going to be around the zone. And with his fastball, it's 91. It might play up a couple miles an hour. It might play up to a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball.
I've said many times that opening pitch in an at bat, I don't care who's out there, but especially as you say, guys, he's going to throw a strike. It's Stripling, and typically it's going to be a fastball. The batting average league wide is outstanding. Cargo with 2 outs. Pinch hit yesterday and struck out, and he pushes a bunt foul. Trying to reach for Nolan.
Right idea. I like it. Talk about trying to change the scouting report. We've seen Cargo drop a couple bunts down this year. They left Machado on that side, and that's the option they have because he played third base the majority of his time. This year more shortstop.
You know what? I know you taught this because you've told me this many times when you were an instructor in the Cubs organization. When you try to bunt for a hit, when you don't have a strike on you, be fine with it. But in this particular case against the shift, you don't have to be super fine, do you?
No, and that's the good thing about it. And you're right. Normally, if there's a third baseman that's kind of playing even with the bagger, maybe a couple steps back, yeah, you want to drop it where it's hugging the grass and the dirt down the line. But for Cargo, there's just so much space there that he didn't need to be quite that fine.
1-1. Did he hold up? 2-1. Even despite dropping 2 of 3 to the Pirates, the Rockies have won 17 of their last 23 at home. And they're in the midst of playing great teams every night. Tonight is game, check this out, folks. Tonight is game number 37 in a row against teams above 500, and it does not abate after the Dodgers depart. The Rockies get on a plane, they'll go to Houston, play 2 against the defending world champs, and then one of the biggest stories in baseball this year, the Atlanta Braves, for 4. So they'll play 46 in a row against plus 500 teams.
Right now, it's their 13th straight series where they're playing teams above 500. And really, if you look at it, you only have the San Diego Padres left on the schedule. That I know the Angels are kind of hovering around 500, but the Padres are the
only guaranteed team to be below 500. Wow. In your playing days, And now, for many years of broadcaster,
Never.
coach, you ever see anything like this?
Not for this long. I mean, you might run into it for, 3 weeks, where it's 20, 22 games.
And this ball is lined to right, and making the catch over there is Matt Kemp. So the Rockies go in order in the first. We'll go to the second. No score. Rockies and Dodgers. Game 1 of 4. What makes a Subaru, and by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Always good to be at home in the great city of Denver, Colorado. With Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborgs, I'm Drew Goodman. We go to the top of the second inning. It'll be Cody Bellinger, Kike Hernandez, and Yasmani Grandal against Tyler Anderson. Anderson gave up a hit, a couple strikeouts in a otherwise uneventful first inning. And that's a pretty good looking pitch for a strike. Good movement on that cutter.
It's just nice to get out of that first inning without a run, and you thought, oh no, was the mistake going to add to that? But Tyler picked up his teammates and struck out Matt Kemp.
It's a fly ball to center field, fairly deep, and the wind's got a little bit evidently, and Charlie glides back, makes the catch. We mentioned Spilly a moment ago, and it's time to see what he's up to. Spilly, what do you have, bud?
Well, I'm going to, at some point today, because this is going to be a big series, big weekend series, I'm going to end up in the rally seat. But you guys were talking about teams over 500 that the Rockies have been playing and how big of a stretch it's been. Well, I'm going to show you just how important this stretch has been as far as putting the team in a good place. 22-14 over the last 36 games with teams over 500. You see how good the team ERA has been. Runs per game scoring a little bit over 4.5 in the starters ERA. Fantastic, but we do know that the tough stretch is not over yet. They still have this series right now with the Dodgers, 3 more games, and then you go to Houston as well. So it's tough baseball. But guess what, guys?
What's that?
This is the big leagues.
Yes, it is. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to say, oh, poor me. You're going to go out and compete.
Well, one of the things these two teams have in common, both have played better against the higher caliber opponent this year. Dodgers have a terrific record against teams above 500. The Rockies the last couple of months. That ball is lined down the line, and it is fair for Kike Hernandez. He'll have a double.
Kike is hitting only 159 out on the road. He's able to keep this ball fair on the Subaru Supermower. This lands right on the paint. Right down the line. No, excuse me, it was a couple inches from it. From my vantage point, it looked like it was right on the line.
Here's Grandal. Grandal not nearly as good a hitter from the right side as he is from the left side. Dave Roberts asked today about Yasmani playing against Tyler Anderson. He homered yesterday. Woke up actually a perfect game by Mike Fiers with a home run. And he said, we face, he's talking about the Dodgers obviously, a bunch of lefties coming up. He said he's our #1 catcher, so we're going to get him in there against the lefties a little bit.
Yeah, he's hitting .214 right-handed this year with just one of his 20 home runs from the right side. Austin Barnes is their other catcher. It's just right-handed. But you know what? That's the manager's prerogative. That's why they make out the lineup. Sometimes you just have a feel of what you need to do, not just for tonight, but tomorrow and then the next couple weeks.
2-0. Fouled off. And the OPS naturally matches some of the numbers that Jeff was dispensing. 910 OPS against right-handed pitching, outstanding. 676 OPS against left-handed pitching, not so outstanding. One out, Hernandez at second. Make mention of this because it is a fact, but I also have a little comment on it after I make mention of the fact that the Dodgers got in at 4 in the morning last night after a late game in Oakland. They lost again 3-2. Guys sleep till noon or whatever they need to do, and it ultimately doesn't have a big effect. We always mention it's like the Brewers came in the other day and they had gotten in close to 6 in the morning. They get their rest.
Yeah, sometimes though it is the next day. It's not today. It'd be tomorrow where you feel a little bit of that lag. But you know what? I'm not feeling sorry for the Dodgers because they always do it to us.
Notorious to doing it to everybody playing night games. 3-1. Uh-oh, taken off for third. Swiping the bag is Hernandez. And now a walk. He got a huge jump against Anderson. So it's first and third, 1 out, with Chris Taylor coming up.
That's just the second stolen base for Hernandez on the season. But watch the double leg kick there from Tyler. That allows Hernandez to get 3 or 4 more strides, and has that movement going into third. Gives a quick glance. He's in there easily. That's just the 40th stolen base for the Dodgers on the season.
And here's the deal. You have Taylor at the plate. Anderson can get Taylor without the run scoring. He'll have a nice chance to keep the Dodgers off the board because Taylor's hitting 8. Stripling on deck. And that with the block. 1-0.
Taylor has some pretty good speed. Grounded into 3 double plays this year. That's it.
Grandal saying, man, I had a 1.5 foot lead and that was close.
Still almost got picked.
First and third, 1 out in the second, no score. 1-0 to Taylor. That's a strike. Chris Taylor hitting just .228 against lefties. He's hurt the Rockies this year in limited time. 6 for 11.
Including a home run, 6 RBIs.
Inside 2-1. Taylor, after the injury to Seager and before the addition of Machado, was playing shortstop pretty much every day. And I think defensively, as great a shortstop, or excuse me, as great a fielder, let me correct that, as Manny Machado at third, and he's a solid shortstop. Talking to people with the Dodgers, their best shortstop defensively, it's probably Taylor 1, Kike Hernandez, believe it or not, 2.
Yeah, a little bit more range from those two guys. That's taking nothing away from Machado. He's solid.
No, he's
yeah.
nothing wrong with his defense. Made a name for himself at third, and now as he embarks on the open market, it will be as a shortstop, at least initially. He swung 2-2.
He did. Either way, it was in the Subaru strike zone or he swung. You can take your pick.
Strikeout here would be huge. 2-2. Center field. Charlie coming on. Momentum toward the plate. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it will not be in time. Hernandez scores, and it's 1-0 LA on the sac fly by Chris Taylor.
'52nd RBI of the season for Chris Taylor. He kind of goes down and gets this one. It's a line drive on the Subaru Supermo right to Charlie. He works behind a good strong throw. Just Kike Hernandez is pretty quick, and it helped because of that stolen base getting over to third.
So the Dodgers manufacture a run after the 1-out double. 1 strike on Stripling. Just tell by his setup, not much of a hitter.
2 for 27 this year.
Well, the lead foot goes in the bucket.
Yeah, the backside's not going back towards the pitcher. It's called the old bail and wail. So you're bailing out of the batter's box and you're just swinging the bat as hard as you can and hope you make contact somehow.
The catcher Grandal at first, and Stripling probably going to swing late. Desmond's behind the runner at first. 2-2. Next pitch for Tyler will be his 40th. Number higher than you'd like here in the second inning. Slowly hit DJ. And we'll have to make a quick transition. In the inning, there was a double and a sac fly. And the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second at Coors Field.
Several of the Rockies took their time today to head down to Jason Jennings Field for Colorado Rockies Fantasy Camp for Kids Clinic with children from the Special Olympics of Colorado. There's also Special Olympics of Colorado along with Big D's Warriors. The players in attendance, Ryan McMahon, Carlos Gonzalez, Yancy Almonte. They had a blast today. You can see the looks on the kids' faces. Good stuff today. Just love the images. You know, for some of the guys today, as always, whenever you get a chance to hang out with the kids, spend your time, you might even play a game for one of the kids today. Good stuff. A little side note, Yancy Almonte was optioned down after attending the camp in order to make room for Chris Russin. Chris Russin coming back now from AAA after dealing with the bout with plantar fasciitis. So Almonte will get some opportunity to pitch a little bit in AAA, and we'll get a chance to see Chris Russin at some point tonight. Guys?
All right, Spilly, thanks very much. Here as we go to the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Nolan, Trevor Story, David Dahl to face Ross Stripling. Ross a little bit late getting out to the mound because he made the final out for the Dodgers as they get the first run of the ball game. You know, I was looking at this earlier today. You know, the Rockies' struggles in the first inning. I'm not suggesting they do this, but I bet you a lot of teams are going to look at what Tampa has done, particularly in the offseason, because Tampa uses the opener now, and then goes to their quote-unquote starting pitcher in the second inning, and it hasn't gotten a ton of coverage maybe of late nationally, but they have the 5th best rotation now ERA, or team ERA I should say, since they began utilizing the opener.
Well, the way everything is dissected these days,
if you're not doing
table.
If you're not doing your job as a front office unless you kind of take a look at it, crunch numbers. Nolan owns a home run against Stripling. He takes ball 1.
Here it was. Flashback to that game on Dodger Stadium on Sunday, July 1st, right over the head of Jock Peterson. That was a curveball.
And Nolan with a base hit up the middle. Good start to the second inning. So Nolan reaching, and that'll bring up Trevor Story.
Hernandez bobbled that ball, booted it a little bit out in center, but wasn't able to advance. Nice to see Nolan get back on track after yesterday going 0 for 3.
Trevor was talking about in the clubhouse today, you know, that hitting, and we've heard this before, is contagious. And guys like yourself that were position players, I've never met a guy that didn't believe it was contagious, where, you know, a couple guys get going, all of a sudden now you throw out hits and everybody gets on a roll, and that's what collectively clearly needs to happen for the Rockies. That breakout game or two.
And it's funny because it's not something that's really discussed though in the clubhouse. You'll say, hey, we need to pick it up, but it's not like, hey, well, if you get hot, I'll get hot.
Right.
We'll all get hot together.
It'd be nice if it worked that way, right? Hey, Jeff,
hey, why don't you go out and get 3 hits tonight?
Right, I was just looking at your numbers the last week. They're awful. How about you go out and get 3 hits and maybe hit one over the fence? We haven't done that in a while.
Exactly.
0-1 inside.
Well, I mean, we talk about hitting. We've seen it with the starting pitchers for the Rockies, how they want to go out there. They want to, you know, follow what the guy before them did when they're on a roll. But it's 100% contagious.
1-1 pitch to Story. So he has a 6-game hitting streak going. And he gets under this one. Shallow center. Hernandez the catch, 1 out. One of the other things that's happened of late when you're not going well is even the outs are not moving people along. We've seen a number of times in the last couple of weeks where the Rockies will have a leadoff double and then there'll be an out made, but they still have a guy on second base. David Dahl got the Rockies going yesterday with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. They were down 3-0 at that point in time. He's throwing out good at bats the last few days.
Well, you mentioned that home run. That'll give us an opportunity for our StatCast AI, and it's powered by AWS. The ball off of the pitcher yesterday, Chris Archer, off the bat at 102 miles an hour, 438 feet. As you see, the launch angle at 30 degrees.
0-1 line toward Kemp and right, 2 outs.
That ball was knuckling on Kemp.
And that'll bring up Ian Desmond. Desi's legs were pretty sore the last couple of days, so Buddy Black said, you know what, we'll use you just off the bench. This is a guy that never wants to be out of the lineup. He's back in there tonight. 2 for 6 lifetime against Stripling.
And that's a good feel for a manager too, just watching the guys. Sometimes it's not all about the numbers. It's just, you know, maybe how they're coming in and off the field.
Well, one of the guys that Buddy relies on heavily to help make those decisions is Keith Duggar, the Rockies head trainer. They meet throughout the day, but they'll meet after the game also, usually about half hour, 45 minutes after the ball game. And misses. After guys that sought treatment have gotten treatment, and he'll go back through with Buddy, Keith will, and let him know, you know, hey, so-and-so's a little bit sore, we may have to stay away from him, or so-and-so's okay, checked out fine, that kind of thing.
That's the trust, though, with your trainer. I mean, it's so nice to be able to have that. Keith has the experience. He played the game. He understands when guys are dragging a little bit, but he's also going to say, hey, how do you really feel? Tell me, and I can help you out.
Right.
It's not I'm trying to take you out of the lineup type of move.
Because there's some guys that will never say that. This guy's not going to go raise his hand and say, hey, I need a day. No, just not how he's wired. 1-2. Yesterday he had that pinch hitting at bat. He had a chance to tie up the game, and he thought he did on that ball down the right field line. It kind of faded into the seats. Nolan takes off, kind of a sneak attack, and he's out. So that'll end the inning as Arenado is cut down trying to steal by Yasmani Grandal. We'll go to the 3rd. It is 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers.
This night here at Coors Field. We've been saying that a lot lately. For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch and how the West will be won. You still have 48 games remaining, 30 within the division, and as you see there, 17 games against the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The good thing, though, you got 10 games against the Dodgers left. 7 of them here at Coors Field, 7 games left against Arizona, 4 of them here at Coors Field. So you got to take advantage when you're playing these teams, especially at home.
Yep, we've been saying that for a while. You know, Spilly's been all over that. It's going to come down to how you play inside the division, and it typically does. First pitch swinging, Brian Dozier fouls it off. Now you may be wondering, I want you to take people through this, Jeff, at home, is where's Nolan going? He does not run well. Why is he trying to steal second? 1-2 count with 2 outs.
And a guy,
Desmond.
yeah, and a guy that throws a lot of curveballs, changeup, sliders. So that came from the bench.
Tough chance. Nolan's got it. Now time to throw him out. Gorgeous play. Nolan Arenado. The glove salute from Ian Desmond. He takes a double away from Dozier.
That was a typical Nolan play where he comes up after he makes it, just fires it across the diamond. I mean, first the range. Watch the first step quickness and then the dive. So it's a couple steps and then a dive and comes up and gets Dozier by a step as he heads down the line. This is a good feeling as an infielder on the Subaru Supermo. Once you get that ball in your glove, the good thing and the good place that it was, of course, Tyler's happy about it, is it went right into the webbing. So you know when you go in there with your bare hand where that ball is going to be.
Out front is Manny Machado. He rolled the base hit up the middle.
But just to finish that thought on Nolan and Timpson, 1-2, if he gets thrown out, you know what? Desi leads off the next inning and he's not an upside down count.
And as you know, I call when a guy like that is running, it's kind of a sneak attack. And if he's successful, because as you say, breaking ball count, all the things. Now, if Desi throws out a hit, you almost feel like you stole a run.
Exactly. So that's all they were trying to do there. It wasn't like, oh, what's Nolan doing? Why is he running there? Well, the count dictated why he was running.
Right. Nolan didn't all of a sudden feel like he was Vince Coleman, and I'm going to take off here.
No.
1-2 on Machado. Got him. Strike 3. Beautiful pitch. That is strikeout number 3 tonight for Tyler Anderson.
They put it where Chris wanted it, outside. This was a 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour on the Subaru Supermo.
That'll bring up Justin Turner. Turner hit a line drive at Nolan in the first inning. Nolan made the catch. And then threw low, trying to get a double play at first on Machado, and the ball skipped past Ian Desmond for an error. Fortunately, Tyler was able to get Matt Kemp, so no harm done. There's a lot of folks who are with you in that camp. We checked our Twitter account. So many people love watching Nolan Arenado. How can you not?
I raised my hand on that one.
Raised both my hands. 1-1 on Turner.
Well, 1 for defense, 1 for offense.
Back up the middle, and that is going to find space in the middle for a knock. And with 2 outs, Turner's aboard. We were talking to Dave Roberts before the ball game, and we were asking about Manny Machado, and you know, we've known Dave for a long time, and he said, you know, now you have, in this game tonight, this series, he said, in my mind, the 2 best two-way players in baseball all playing on the same field. He's a big fan of Nolan Arenado, and you know, now he's got Manny Machado, who had a very similar reputation naturally and deservedly so with the Orioles in the American League.
Exactly, especially when he was playing third base, because how many times would you hear the comparison between the two? You know, who's better? Is it Machado? Is it Nolan? Of course, I think we're a little biased just because we get to see Nolan every single night. But for Dave Roberts now, he's saying, well, I got Machado playing shortstop, and I get to watch him then swing the bat too.
1 strike on Matt Kemp. Caught looking his first time. And Kemp hits this in the air to Cargo. Easy play. And that's all for the Dodgers in the 3rd. Turner's left at first base. 1-0 LA. Ian Desmond to lead it off. Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special at Moss at Taco Bell. Cloudless night at Coors Field. Temperature at 82 degrees. Nolan Arenado, Buddy Black in the dugout a moment ago. Nolan taking a double away from Brian Dozier. So the bottom of the third, it'll be the bottom third of the order for Colorado. Desmond, Iannetta, and Anderson. Rockies with one base runner. Briefly, Nolan a leadoff single and then was caught stealing with 2 outs. Ross Stripling missed the last 10 days with inflammation in his right toe. Exactly.
Tell me this, is there anybody in this game that manipulates that 10-day deal more than the Dodgers?
I have, listen, it's not against the rules. So
no, I'm not saying it's in bad sports. No, it's the rules are the rules.
And
but
they've taken advantage of it.
They do take advantage of it. And part of the reason for Stripling too is last year he had 74 innings. He's already right now at 104 innings this year. So I think they're just trying to back him off.
Absolutely. He was a pen guy last year. He made 2 starts in 2017. That misses.
And his
3-0
two games coming out after he was a losing pitcher in the All-Star game weren't real good.
Nope. This guy's unfamiliar with 3-0 counts. Now 3-1. Again, he has the lowest walk rate of any pitcher in baseball who's thrown at least 100 innings. Some big names on that list. His teammate who threw yesterday, Clayton Kershaw. The former Dodger and current Diamondback, Zach Greinke. They just don't walk people, man. Don't give out handouts. 3-1. 3-2.
And his whip this year is 1.13.
See the names on that list. Michaelis has been very good for St. Louis. Brent Suter, the lefty from Milwaukee's out for the season.
Tommy John.
But look at those ERAs, 4 of the 5. You're talking about sub-3 ERAs.
You're making guys earn their way on.
Ball 4. There's the 16th walk. And now you flash back to last inning, and Nolan's not trying to get thrown out, but he gets thrown out. You get a new count for Desmond, and it kind of pays off. We'll see where the rest of the inning goes, obviously. But now he's at first, as opposed to the lower likelihood when you're in a 1-2 count.
Yeah, so 3 pitches for Desi last time. He was in a 1-2 count. 3 pitches this time, he was in a 3-0 count. And that's why part of it, we saw Bud a moment ago. I know he was talking about the play, hey, good job, but I'm sure he also said, hey, nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Keep being aggressive.
You're always coaching. Buddy Black counseling Anderson, who's on deck.
And
how about Chris Iannetta yesterday? Everybody in the world, everybody in the ballpark, everybody in the Pittsburgh dugout thought that he had tied up the game on that rocket he hit to second, and Adam Frazier made just a gorgeous play.
That was the hardest hit ball in that game yesterday.
107 miles an hour. Spilly's all over hit probability. That had to have a hit probability of above 90%. Spilly, did you study that last night?
Hit probability?
Yeah, for the swing from Iannetta yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's typically a hit when you look at launch angle, you look at how hard velocity is off the bat. It was a heck of a play by Adam Frazier. I actually talked to Iannetta today, and he goes, that stunk.
It would stink at any point in time, but particularly when you've been scuffling and the hits have been few and far between.
Well, what's interesting too for Iannetta, if you look at some of the expected stats that are available to you on Baseball Savant, he ranks in the top 5 hitters on the Rockies roster based on how hard he's been hitting baseballs.
Here's that swing yesterday.
Watch Frazier, the first step, and then he lays out. And everybody in the ballpark thought that game was tied up.
He's got a battle here, 1 and 2. Good speed at first at Desmond. Rockies down 1-0 as they bat in the third.
Dahl tried to pull that one back into the Subaru strike zone.
Chris, a catcher, not surprisingly blessed with a great eye, but man, you take some courage to take that pitch.
Just hold your breath and just think that you saw it right.
And this is on the ground to short. There's one on the first double play.
These two guys haven't been working together very long in Machado and Dozier, but that looks like they had been double play partners for a while. Machado comes and gives him a nice underhand feed. Gets his body positioned so he has the momentum going towards second base, and then Dozier gets rid of it to complete the 81st double play this year for the Dodgers. Be close at first on the Subaru Supermo.
So Anderson with 2 outs. All the starting pitchers hit about 320 on the field today for about 15 minutes. I'll try to follow the lead of German Marquez.
Even the out he made yesterday was allowed to line out to left field.
Ball and 2 strikes.
Telling everybody how he hits. What is he hitting over 360 now?
Came in he's at 366, isn't he?
Yeah, 357.
357.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's 15 for 42.
Doing that, you may get a pinch hitting appearance. You never know, right? 1-0 LA. Challenge questioners always go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll check it out during the post-game show how you all voted. Hey, it's National Recommended Book Day. What is it called again?
It's National Book Lovers Day.
Oh, it's National Book Lovers Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy that can't read.
All right. Well, it doesn't. It's not on there. Is it? It's a bunch of other words. All right. So we all voted today. I voted for a book I love way before the movie, the Roger Malamud classic, The Natural. Spilly, was this you, The Art of Hitting 300?
That was me.
Oh, that was you, Huey. Okay.
Yeah.
And Spilly was...
The Science of Hitting by Ted Williams.
Heard of him.
And
then
pictures.
a classic, and I'm going to give a nod of approval because this may have been the first baseball novel I ever read. Jim Bouton, who was a knuckleballer and then went on to a broadcast career, pitched for the Yankees in the 60s, ball 4, which is still a baseball classic. And the wonderful thing about this sport, more than any other major sport, it has spawned so many wonderful books about the game. And you know, you guys picked kind of aids for young hitters or even older hitters, 2 books that you guys relied on. But if you talk about the genre of baseball novels, I mean, there've been so many and continue to be so many great books that come out about the game of baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cody Bellinger. Did you ever read ball 4, by the way?
I did, but I need to read it again just because
it was back in the day where there were.
It was an expose.
Right. The antics, and people didn't know. When I say people, fans did not realize what happened behind the scenes, what happened on road trips. I mean, you got a bunch of 20-year-old kids.
Pull the curtain back just
it really pulled the curtain back.
Yeah, so go to our Central League high-speed challenge question and answer. See which one we come up with. Show it on the post-game show.
1-2 on Bellinger, high, 2-2. And for those that are familiar, I think many of you are, with the Robert Redford, movie, The Natural, and it was a great film. As is so often the case, the book is even better.
But you can only vote on this if you've read that book, not just watched the movie.
Right. On the ground at Nolan, he's the only one on that side of the field. Bellinger can really reel, and he's out by a step. So Corey, his contribution was ball 4.
He was right on that one, too. And I was almost thinking with Spilly that, the Science of Hitting by Ted Williams, because he hit 400. So why wouldn't you read that book? I just wanted to try to hit 300. So that's why that's why I just went with the, the Charlie Lau book.
Both are great. Charlie Lau is really a great book if you've never understood how to hit before, because he was one of the pioneers of the leg kick.
Yes.
And then
and also taking the top hand off the bat.
Yeah, he was a big leg kick, top hand off the bat guy. And then, of course, I don't know, when I was reading Ted Williams as a kid, I didn't really understand it. You and I talked about this. When you read it again as a professional athlete, you go, dang, he was way ahead of his time.
Definitely. I mean, swinging up on the ball so it stays on the same plane as the baseball coming down.
The launch angle.
The launch angle.
I do have another recommended reading, but that was my favorite baseball book. Heads Up Baseball is another one if you just need to learn how to breathe and let things go. That's a good one. And The Echoing Green, which is what Doug Marino led me down, is a great novel on Ralph Branca and the shot heard around the road by Bobby Thompson. That one's a great book.
I have that at home, bookshelf, and that was a recommendation. It was a couple years ago. Dougie, during the off season, called us all and said, you got to read this book. And that has, a special place for me. Growing up in New York, my dad worked at the Polo Grounds in '51 that season, and he was at that game. Shot heard around the world. That pitch just misses to Hernandez.
I have a ball locked up in a safe that has Bobby Thompson.
Both signatures.
Both signatures on
That's special.
Yeah. It's in Fort Knox.
They sang songs together.
That's line down the right field line, foul. Hernandez lined one just fair down the left field line for a double in the second, and has scored the only run in this game.
So what did they do, Spilly?
I watched this documentary on Ralph Branca and Bobby Thompson, and they ended up becoming pretty good friends after the fact. In fact, I think they sang on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson a song together, a Broadway hit. So they ended up a really great friendship. But if you read that book, or if you know the history behind it, that's a pretty big deal.
2-2. That's fouled off.
The Dodger doing anything with the Giant, that's just crazy.
It's crazy talk.
Exactly. To this day. One out in the fourth. is in the air toward the left field line. Dahl does not have a play.
That doesn't count, though.
David trying to sell it. Ricochets counts once a night. We're going to take ours right here.
You could just call it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
It's like mulligans. You got to pick your time when you're going to use it, right?
Or like a challenge, you only have one. If
we're going to use this ricochet right here.
Okay.
2-2. Rear curveball, 3-2. Tyler flips his curveball up only about 3% of the time, and it's usually to open up a count.
Yeah, he did that to Turner last at bat.
There's the cutter. Well, last time we saw the Dodgers, the Rockies took 2 of 3 in LA from them. And at the time, Kike Hernandez had played every position on the diamond for the Dodgers in 2018, save pitching or catching. Well, now that a month or so has gone by, he's added a mound appearance. So it's just behind the plate where he has not ventured this year. I think every position player in baseball has their hand raised now. When do I get to pitch?
He took
Been
the
all the
loss
rage
in that game. The one he pitched.
It was tied. It was the 16th inning.
16.
And it was not a blowout. It's just that Dave Roberts kind of ran out of pitching. 3-2.
Okay, this is getting annoying right now.
Well, I read ball 4 in a shorter amount of time than Kike's been at the plate. Eleventh pitch here. And the pitch total had already been a little bit high for Tyler coming into the inning. This ball's well hit right center field. Charlie hoping for a play. Will make the catch. What a running grab that was. That would have been a triple.
Easy. And it's hard, too, no matter whether you're playing the infield or the outfield, after Hernandez had fouled so many balls off. He had fouled ones off to the right, off to the left, so you got to play it straight up. And what a jump Charlie got, and then the outstretch right at the perfect time. Not running with his glove extended. As he takes off, he's just running, glove by his side, and now the last 2 steps, that's when he puts the arm out. Boy, what a battle that was between Tyler and Kike.
I'm giving that 5 stars.
I know you and I kind of write stars in our book behind plays that are made. That one, Nolan's diving play down the line, I got starred tonight.
1-1 on Grandal, according to the metrics. That was a 31% catch probability.
He caught it, right?
Now 100%. 1-1. Actually, it was I had it right. Almost couldn't read Jacob's handwriting there. Great catch. So much ground to cover, the biggest center field in baseball.
That'll get your legs loose.
That's why I marvel. Charlie last year was one of the great seasons ever for a leadoff hitter, and he's having a solid season this year. And he runs out to center field every night at Coors Field. And Grandal is gone. So a 1-2-3 inning. Little help from Chuck Nasty in center field. Get Tyler some runs. 1-0 LA. Outdoors. And by UC Health, live extraordinary. Game 1 of 4 between the Rockies and Dodgers. Rockies in the bottom of the 4th will have the top of the order. They've had 2 base runners, a leadoff single in the 2nd by Nolan, and then a leadoff walk in the 3rd by Desmond. The Rockies have not touched second base in this game. See if Charlie is aggressive here early in the count. He is, and he gets underneath it.
He gets a curveball.
1 out as Hernandez makes the catch, and that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. The Rockies again begin the day in 3rd place, 3 games back of Arizona. Arizona and the Dodgers keep seesawing as to who's at the top of the NL West. There have been 6 lead changes in the last 10 days. Arizona's idle tonight.
Then they go to Cincinnati to open up a 3-game set.
Buddy was talking about the Giants earlier tonight, saying, you know, I'm sure they have one more real good run in them also. And they're just 6.5 back. DJ.
Think back to last year, the Dodgers and that run they went on, ended up winning 104 games on the year. At this point last year, the Rockies were 15.5 games back in the division.
Well, that's why I said earlier the Rockies have not been this close to the top spot since 1996, when on August the 9th of '96 they were just a game and a half behind the Padres. They were actually tied with the Dodgers that year in 2nd place, and it was the Padres out front. This is, you know, well before Buddy was the skipper there. Boach was there in '96. And this is another high fly ball. It'll be an easy play for Hernandez.
Fans, MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $59.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions may apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Boy Scouts in the house tonight. Cargo coming up with 2 outs. Last year the Dodgers were the last year's version of this year's Boston Red Sox. They were 80-33 on August 9th. Top of the zone, strike 1 on Cargo. He had a fly ball to right his first time.
Boston's losing tonight at Toronto because they were going for their 7th straight tonight.
I think they'll survive.
They're 81-34. A plus
that's
1.
a called strike. Boy, that's in. And
that's not even close.
Cargo, and you don't see him do this much. He's looking around and asking Jeff Kellogg, come on.
Well, I mean, second pitch on the Subaru strike zone, that's not even. I can understand if it maybe touches. Yeah, that's not even close. Especially the umpire that's set up inside like that. Get a clear view of it. All these ones for me, you know, as umpire, he's looking over the inside shoulder of the catcher. If you miss the one away, it's a little bit different angle as you go at it. That inside one you shouldn't miss.
You're in that spike curveball count. 1 and 2. There's a spike curveball. 2 and 2. Somebody's got to start leading the hit parade. The Rockies quiet again tonight here in the early going. Getting a nicely pitched game from Tyler Anderson. 3 and 2.
Well, a good job by Cargo to even battle back to get it to 3-2. Because sometimes that frustration will boil over and you get a little anxious at the plate. You might fire at the next pitch you see or the pitch after that.
inside, and a walk for Gonzalez.
Heck of a job by Cargo.
Second walk allowed by Stripling. That is most unusual for him. Nolan Arenado will come up. He has the only hit tonight, a base hit on the ground up the middle.
As Ross faces his 13th batter tonight, he's 10 for his first 12 guys in first pitch strikes.
Ball one. Rockies last 17 games, 56 runs. That's 3.2 per game. That's 7 runs the last 3 days against the Pirates.
The year they're minus 17 in run differential. Looking at the National League real quick as far as run differential, they're the only club that is above 500 that's a negative.
Well, the Dodgers are plus 96 by comparison. Two and one. Here's the deal. Great July. It's been not a great start to August. 2 and 6. Tonight is game number 115. There's a lot of baseball left. About 47 ball games. And the Rockies to win the division, and it's the same for the Dodgers. It's the same conversation they're having in Arizona. You have to play your best baseball in the final 7 weeks of the season. If the Rockies can do that, they'll have an outstanding opportunity to capture their first division title.
And that's why we're saying you're just 3 games back in the division. That's the beauty of this. This is a tough division. We know it. We've said it before. It was tough last year.
It's going to be tough typically every year.
That's right.
2-1. 3-1. See Stripling. Let's walk 2. Actually, great respect for the Rockies hitters, even though of late the Rockies haven't scored a lot of runs. You look at that lineup and he's nibbling a little bit right now.
I guarantee you when he looks down at Nolan or whoever it is, he's not saying, well, they haven't hit since August 1st or whatever the date may be. They're looking at, oh, that's Nolan, that's Trevor, that's Cargo.
Nolan got a little big there. It's 3-2. Cargo will be moving. Nolan, one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game. 6 for 12 with a home run against Ross Stripling.
There, I mean, Kike Hernandez in center field is playing about as deep as we've seen anybody play. He's way out there.
Line drive, left field, extra bases. Cargo to third. Stu Cole will send him. He's going to score easily. Nolan's tied it up. Whoa. He did score standing up, but the throw went to the plate, and it was a little tighter, I think, than everybody realized. Nolan has both hits, and he evens this game in the 4th at 1. 82nd RBI.
Well, he didn't get big on this swing. Got a little big on the 3-1 swing. That one he did not. Rips it to left field, and then it hits off the wall, but just sits right there. But watch this play at the plate. It's a little bit closer than Cargo thinks. He has to get on his horse, and he gets that foot in there on the Subaru Super Mode. Now, Grandal didn't catch the ball. But I think when Cargo was coming in about halfway, he didn't think it was going to even get a throw.
And some of that may be on, and we don't have a shot, if Trevor was letting him know you got to get here and whether or not to get down. That is on the on-deck hitter. 2-out knock here, and the Rockies can take the lead. Trevor, 2 hits and 5 at bats in his matchups with Stripling. He's one of the few guys to have a pretty productive series against the Pirates. He was 4 for 11.
Couple hits yesterday, one on Tuesday, another one on Monday. Oh. Just off the barrel enough on that slider from Stripling.
The Rockies right now in the second half hitting just 184 with runners in scoring position, which is last in baseball. Time to turn those numbers around. This little stretch has been reminiscent of April for the Rockies offense.
Yes, indeed. You know what they ended up doing in the first half with runners in scoring positions, 274.
Which is outstanding.
Yeah, it was 5th best in all of baseball.
And that is coupled with that horrendous start for 6 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they really figured it out.
1-2, and a strikeout will end the inning. Rockies get even. Cargo, a walk when he was behind 0-2 with 2 outs, and then Nolan on a 3-2 pitch brings him home.
Check out the History Colorado Center, the Play Ball exhibit. It'll run there through September 30th. A lot of different artifacts throughout the game. Check out this. This is a receipt from Joe DiMaggio when he ordered some roses, 2 dozen roses, to the Lexington Hotel. It was a $27.99 bill for basically 24 roses. From Marilyn Monroe. It's unbelievable. I wish I would have bought her some roses.
And you sure it was from Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, it says, and then the best part, it says, "Love Joe."
So,
you know
so Spilly, just to, so I'm with you on the math here. So 2 dozen's 24.
2 dozen, yeah, 2 dozen, 24 roses.
There you go. Thank you.
It's basically the equivalent if I was to order flowers now. It's like $150 worth of roses.
Well, get on that then. I'm sure Stacy would like some roses.
How cool is that?
That's really cool. Neat stuff.
What a neat exhibit.
I wonder if Joe DiMaggio went 0 for May 24th, 1961.
0-2 on Chris Taylor, and he takes a pitch just low. 1-2.
Tried to strike him out with the curveball.
Taylor sack fly in the second to drive in the only Dodger run. We're tied at 1. And this is a broken bat fly ball, shallow center. Charlie, can he get there? Yes. 1 gone, Stripling approaching. Fans join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, comments, photos. Use Twitter, include the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Now you get Taylor, now you have the pitcher, chance to have a quick inning if you're Tyler Anderson. He's pitched well. No surprise at Coors Field in Tyler's career, he has a .350 ERA.
That's a 30 games started.
On the corner, 1-1. The Rockies have done such a good job collecting not only a talented young group in their rotation, but from a makeup standpoint, by and large, a really tough group from a competitor standpoint, from moving on from a bad pitch or a bad inning to the next. That's a strikeout of Stripling. That may be the #1 quality, Huey,
yes,
of Kyle Freeland. Good stuff, no question about it. Tyler Anderson, same thing. I mean, he's able to mix, and you know, the cutter and the changeup. They have good stuff, but man, they are tough bulldogs on the mound.
Because not every time you go out there, you're going to have your best stuff. You're going to have to just go out and compete sometimes. And I think that's what these guys do. They figure out what's working, what's not working that night. But to me, it starts at the top. The guy who's managed the ball club. You know, he's a no excuses guy for those starters and all the pitchers.
And he's hard and demanding because he was an outstanding starting pitcher himself. But they love playing for him. I mean, it's at times when there has to be tough love, it's there. Here's the 1-0, and that is hit pretty well to center field. Charlie going back, and he'll make the catch. Dozier's retired, and there's your quick and efficient inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Rockies will have David Dahl in a 1-1 ball game.
Lunch cooler bag courtesy of King Soopers. Get your tickets to see the Rockies take on the St. Louis Cardinals at any Rockies ticket outlet. The Rockies tied this ball game up with a double by Nolan in the bottom of the 4th inning, so looking to add on and extend a lead here. Tyler Anderson a little bit of breathing room out there.
David Dahl and Desmond, Chris Iannetta in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dahl hit a line shot, but it was right at Matt Kemp in right. They shift in their outfield for Dahl, similar to how they shift for DJ LeMahieu. They swing way over to the opposite field. And a base hit for Dahl. So the Rockies have the leadoff man on, and a guy who can run in David Dahl.
Well, he just was strong enough to hit that just out of the reach of Brian Dozier.
That'll bring up Desi.
He walked his first time in the 3rd inning. 2 walks that Stripling's given up tonight.
That's a strike. 1-1. And Desmond owns 3 home runs against the Dodgers this year. And this ball is short. Desi's got to get up the line, and it'll be a double play. Second time the Dodgers have turned it over. It's a nice turn by Machado and Brian Dozier.
Well, there's no lack of trust between these two, because watch the feed now by Machado right where Dozier can handle it and get the turn off before Dahl is right on him. Machado throwing sidearm. You don't have time to get back up on top, but you're not throwing a big distance. I always try to tell shortstops or second baseman, try to throw the ball uphill. All right, try to throw it where that ball is coming around the chest area of that middle infield.
First pitch misses to Iannetta. Chris hit into a 6-4-3 double play, his first at bat. Good footwork also, Huey, by Dozier, and he kind of took a drop step after that feed instead of coming across the bag based on
where the throw was. Yeah, and the timing. So you start with your left foot on the bag, and then you got multiple options.
This will be a tough pickup, and Turner can't make it. And Iannetta will round first and hold there. And that will clear Tyler Anderson, if nothing else, in the 5th inning.
Turner's pretty smooth over at 3rd. Not quite like Nolan, but pretty good. And that ball came back on him. He's upset that he didn't make this play, but it comes back towards his foot. He actually reached too far on the Subaru Supermo.
I would think that will be a hit.
I would think so too.
It's a tough play. And now it's official. It is a single. Anderson thought about dropping one down. Ball 1. This ball's pretty well hit in center field, but Hernandez will retreat and make the catch. Rockies done in the 5th. We move on to inning number 6. It's Colorado 1. It's Los Angeles 1. There's no hidden fees. That's transparency. Spectacular night weather-wise. The Rockies and Dodgers tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning with Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborghs. I'm Drew Goodman. And for the Dodgers, they'll have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Manny Machado, Justin Turner, Matt Kemp to face Tyler Anderson. The only run he allowed in 2nd inning. A 1-out double to Hernandez. He would steal 3rd and score on a sac fly by Chris Taylor. 5 strikeouts tonight for Anderson. The Rockies have utilized just 6 starting pitchers this year. The only guy to make a start outside of the original 5 is Antonio Senzatella. It's been a really solid year for that Rockies rotation. June was rough, but other than that, they have pitched very well. And in the case of the Dodgers, we are so accustomed to those guys being at the top of the charts. Certainly helps to pitch where they do at Dodger Stadium, and to their credit, they've typically had really good arms. This year they've utilized 11 different starting pitchers, but they still have the lowest ERA in the National League. Machado, a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, the Dodgers ERA 3.35, even using those 11 pitchers, and they said they got a couple guys that are not far away from coming back, and Alex Wood and Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Well, Wood is eligible next Wednesday. He's had an adductor issue with his leg. Fouled off, 2 strikes now. And in the case of Ryu, he just threw 5 strong innings in a AAA ball game on Tuesday. So they may have 7 starters ready to go for the stretch run. That's why it's not inconceivable that the all-star Ross Stripling, who's comfortable working out of the pen, has on 11 occasions this year, worked out of the pen almost exclusively last year, did have 2 starts, that he goes to the bullpen. And Dave Roberts been asked about it on a daily basis. He says this is a good problem to have, and that's, you know, that's the right answer. It's inside 2-2.
Yeah, but coming into the game, Ross Stripling had 98 games in the big leagues, just 32 starts. So it's easy for them to say, well, you know what, your innings are getting up there, you're used to the bullpen, you go out there. These other guys are more starters, and that's what they're being trained for right now.
2-2. You know, the other guy that would come to mind to bolster a bullpen that leading up to Kenley Jansen's kind of been a rotation of several guys throughout the year. And you know where I'm going with this is Walker Buehler, because he got a huge arm.
That's right, and he is the guy that throw 100 miles an hour. Wasn't last year Mark Reynolds hit that grand slam in LA on a fastball that was 100 miles an hour. Walker is going to pitch on Saturday.
This ball pulled down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball. Boy, Sean Barber, the 3rd base umpire, got to one knee and eyeballed it the whole way. And he has you know, a perfect angle. From our vantage point, it's really difficult to tell. And honestly, I thought this was going to be a home run.
I did too, off the bat. It's kind of that dusk time too, but clearly on the foul side of the foul pole. I mean, he is getting as good a look at it as he can and makes the call.
And that is reviewable, but Sean Barber was all over it. 3-2 on Machado. And that's line to center field, a base hit. That is career hit number 1,000 for Manny Machado. Charlie Blackmon, interestingly, fields the baseball. He had his 1,000th hit a couple of days ago, and now Machado joins that club. And there goes the baseball.
Just 7% of all major league players have recorded 1,000 hits. in their career. This makes 1,316 now with Machado getting this swing. And I think that's the thing with Machado talking to their hitting coach Turner Ward, who's only had him for a couple weeks now, just saying that he can really change his swing depending on the situation. It's not one swing fits all.
The Rockies turn 2 here. They're not going to get the runner at second. They do get the runner at first because Story has such a great arm. They'll get Turner there. So Machado on what will be ruled a fielder's choice is at second base. Dave Roberts wants to see if it's worthy of a review. It looks like Story definitely got it.
Right there, Nolan kind of blocked the view and really kind of impeded Trevor being able to make the play to second. Nope, they're going to go. He's out.
Leather, foot in the air, close.
Real close, but just to be able to stick with that ball as long as he did was a pretty tough play from Nolan, or excuse me, Trevor, because then Nolan after the play kind of patted his chest like, my bad, I shouldn't have gone so far in front of you there.
Will there be communication even in a situation like that?
It's really hard for a shortstop when the ball is that close, and Nolan with his range, you never want to say, Nolan, don't go get it, you know, but it's really hard as a shortstop because you're thinking he might cut that off and it's a better play for the third baseman.
And then there's some visual impairment for the shortstop if it does go past it.
And that's exactly what happened on that play. But to have the arm strength to still get the guy at first base is what kind of the separator at times for Trevor.
Kemp a strikeout and a fly ball to right field. 1 out. Go ahead run at second. It's in the dirt. Chris blocks it nicely. On big Matt Kemp. One of the big stories for the Dodgers this year. They were not counting on him when they first gathered at spring training. He's had an all-star campaign. 2-1. About the Dodger bench tonight. Muncie's had an incredible year. He's on the bench. Jock Peterson's had a nice year. He's on the bench. Yasiel Puig on the bench for Dave Roberts tonight.
Thump sitting over there.
Good pitch. Speed delivery. That great changeup, and it's 2-2. Anderson's worked himself back in the count.
Kemp on the season 376 with runners in scoring position. He came into camp in great shape too, Matt Kemp.
Yeah, he admittedly got a little heavy last year with Atlanta. Make a pitch here. 2-2. Ground ball to short. He did. Story will throw him out. Machado had to go back to the bag. Now you have 2 outs and you have a left-on-left matchup.
When you got the fly ball earlier from Cody Bellinger and then an easy 5-3 off of Bellinger.
Bellinger a year ago, the unanimous rookie of the year in the National League. He had 39 home runs in his freshman campaign and drove in 97. Takes a strike.
Bellinger, different average against the lefty, 215. Right-handers, he's hitting 258. Still going to put the shift on. Brought to you by the Subaru StatCast.
But what's interesting, we'll show it. We're showing it now. Mention it after this pitch. a little bit different because Machado's at second. In his last at bat, he said he hit a ground ball to third. In actuality, he hit a ground ball to short. But Nolan can't play short now. Otherwise, you're just giving a bag to Machado. So where he hit the ball the last time, that would be a single right now. Whenever you try to take something away, you're going to give something also.
So you're just playing the percentages.
1-1 line foul. Anderson kind of dropped down a little bit. And the next pitch will be number 101. Whatever happens, this has been a really nice bounce back performance by Anderson after his first rough one in a long time.
And you knew he would.
Sure.
You knew Tyler.
It's too good.
The way he is, that was an anomaly.
Here's the 1-2. He's got it. Well done, Tyler Anderson reaches back, fans Bellinger with a 94-mile-an-hour heater. We're tied at 1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning in Lodo. One as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Just a moment ago, Bud Black came over to talk to Tyler Anderson. 101 pitches, trying to gauge where he is. Bottom of the order due up for the Dodgers, and that tough decision for a manager. Do you throw a guy out there still who's been great? This is going to go foul. Try to extract another inning out of him. Or do you flip it over to the bullpen? And that right there is the indication, without question, that Buddy and Steve Foster are going to flip it over to the bullpen.
What a job tonight by Tyler Anderson. Gave up that run in the 2nd inning, but still only 4 hits allowed tonight.
Great performance. Blackman, LeMahieu, Gonzalez. They're combined 0 for 5 with a walk in this game. The walk by Cargo came with 2 outs, and he has scored the Rockies' only run. The Rockies desperately need those 2 guys, Blackman and LeMahieu. Been just terrific players the last few years. Need them to catch fire here in August. Swinging bunt. Strictly to first, just in time.
I thought he might get that swinging bunt. Tried to lay down a bunt on the very first pitch. It ended up going foul. This time, Strictly comes over That's how close it was on the Subaru Supermo, but he had to barehand that. He didn't come over with the glove. He barehanded and made the throw.
DJ, a fly ball to left and a fly ball to center. Rockies have collected 4 hits tonight.
Scott Oberg's the only one up in the Rockies bullpen.
One ball, 1 strike. DJ last year hit .310, the year before .348, the year before that .301. His on base percentage the last 3 years, .374, .416 when he won the batting title, .358. And this ball is driven to center field with authority. Hernandez will make the catch. And they're 2 outs. And I mention that because DJ is fixing to get going, because coming into tonight his on base percentage was down to .319, which is very on DJ-like.
That's right. And just watching, you know, DJ and Charlie in the batting cage, you don't see any difference. It's not like their swing is all of a sudden slowed down or they're not doing the same preparation. No, everything's the same. It's just one of those streaks.
Cargo, fly ball to right. And a very important walk. Takes a strike. Cargo is behind 0-2. The second strike was clearly up and in. Some umpires are going to miss pitches. Cargo looked back quickly at Jeff Kellogg, and so he was behind 0-2, and then he worked out the walk, and then on a 3-2 pitch to Nolan doubled him in. That's a strike. 0-2.
That one did catch the Subaru strike zone.
Cargo typically such an aggressive hitter that if he is down a couple of strikes, it's usually after swinging once or twice. Last 2 times it's all called strikes. How about hitting an 0-2 home run? That work for you?
Love the call.
It was 14th of the year a few days ago in Milwaukee. This time, and the Rockies at the top of the order, and they went quickly. So we go to the 7th, knotted up at 1. It's pitched 6 wonderful innings. He's allowed a run on just 4 hits. He ends up striking out 6, just 1 walk. And he'll give way now to the Rockies bullpen. He'll get a no decision as we go to the 7th inning. It'll be Scott Oberg out of the Rockies pen. Hernandez, Grandal, Taylor, 6, 7, and 8 for the Dodgers.
Scott did not pitch in the Pittsburgh series. Last time out was in the Milwaukee, where he got the W. 1 inning, gave up a hit. 2.73 ERA, but since his recall on May 28th, and this includes that one, did have that stint on the DL for the back strain. He's 6-0 with a .82 ERA, so the 22 innings, he's only allowed 2 earned runs. Pinch hitter.
Yep, Jock Peterson. This will be an even up switch in center field. This is left for right, so Jock Peterson will face Oberg here. There's a pinch hitter beginning the 7th. Peterson called upon because he's 2 for 6 lifetime against Oberg, but the 2 hits, both home runs. And this ball in the air to pretty deep left field, way back, and the leap at the wall, too far, home run. Well, Dave Roberts looks like a genius now. 2-1 LA.
Three hits off of Scott, 3 home runs by Jock Peterson. That is his first pinch hit home run this year. Ball was up and allowed Jock to get his arms extended. Davis goes back. He ends up running into the wall pretty hard.
That's his 18th home run of the year. They have 56 home runs coming off the bench tonight.
The Dodgers have now hit 157 home runs.
That is the most in the National League. You couple that with an extremely high walk rate. Lead the National League in walks. 0-2 and the strikeout of Grandal.
Time for our Subaru StatCast on this home run from Jock Peterson. Shows you how strong he is to take that out the other way. Hit it at a projected distance 376 feet.
Chris Taylor, sac fly and a fly ball to center field. Speaking of Muncy, he's in the on deck circle to hit for Stripling. He's hit it to center field again. Car goes in the neighborhood too, but it'll be Blackman. 2 gone.
Enjoy flexibility with the ballpark pass. The discounted ticket package lets you choose the games that fit your schedule and redeem from your phone right up until first pitch. Pitch hitting for Ross Stripling is another one of those big boppers they have on the bench. As you said, Max Muncy with his 24 home runs. And this kind of out of, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but this guy was really struggling to find a job.
No. You could say that. It was out of nowhere. And it's not a knock on Max Muncy. He wasn't in the big leagues last year. Time with Oakland prior.
You know what reminds me a little bit?
There's not a guy alive, including Muncie's folks, who said, yeah, Max probably had 24 home runs in early August.
But it's a little bit like what Chris Taylor did for the Dodgers last year.
Yes, it is. One on Muncie with 2 outs and a run in. This ball's well hit to left field. This has got a chance. This has got two opposite field home runs by pinch hitters, and it's 3-1 LA. Off the bench, Peterson. Off the bench, Muncie.
$25 home runs for Max Muncie. And just like Peterson, that's his first pinch hit home run. Unbelievable.
4th and 5th home runs allowed this year by Scott Ober. Actually, let me correct that. I looked at the wrong category. Just the 2nd and 3rd home runs allowed by Ober. And that had been a problem in the past for Scott, but not this year. 2-0 on Dozier. Well, the Rockies are going to have to do something that has been an issue for them this year. They got to outscore the Dodgers in the 7th inning or beyond. The Rockies have been outscored by 71 runs 7th inning and beyond this year.
First guy they'll get a crack at is Pedro Baez.
Three-1 on Dozier. Hard ground ball deep short. Story's got it, and Story throws out Brian Dozier. Dozier's been robbed a couple of times by that left side, earlier by Arenado and there by Story. 2 solo home runs. The Dodgers are up 3-1, both of the pinch hit variety.
With this double, RBI putting the game 1-1, but with that double, it puts him now 6th all-time in franchise history with 209. Todd Helton leads the list at 592. Larry Walker 2nd. Dante 270, only 3 ahead of Carlos Gonzalez. Then Tulo, and then there's Vinny now at 7. Guys?
All right, Spilly, Rockies will have Nolan leading off in the 7th, and they're down 3-1. Jock Peterson stays in the game. He's in left field. Chris Taylor goes from left to center. Hernandez obviously out of there, and the new pitcher is Pedro Baez, a longtime setup man for the Dodgers, who typically works pretty slowly, but Baez, tough guy. Hitters just a 222 average against him this year. Actually, righties better than lefties. 236 for righties. Lefties 198. Nolan waves at that pitch. It's 0-1. So the Rockies will have to be real good here in the final 3 innings.
Yeah, you want to try to get to it before you get to Kenley Jansen, your closer.
2 of the 4 hits tonight for Nolan. Single and a double.
You're going to get from Baez. 95 to 97 with the fastball. Will throw a slider around 88 and a changeup about 86.
Ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Anderson, 6 great innings. He departs in a 1-1 game, and the long ball hurt Scott Oberg there in the top of the 7th.
2 pinch hit home runs.
So many un-Coors Field-like games of late. A lot of low-scoring games, which you'll see on occasion. You'll see them more in April and May, where the weather's a little colder. In the middle of the summer, again, on occasion you'll see it. Of course, the Rockies starting rotation, I think top to bottom, the best they've ever had. And yet the Rockies offense, which on paper should be real good, is going through this midsummer lull. And they got to find a way out of it, because 1-2 runs a game, even as well as they've been pitching, aren't going to get it done.
Just 7 runs scored against Pittsburgh in that 3-game set. 2 runs. They won 2-0 on Monday night. On Tuesday night, now, Pittsburgh scored 10 in that game, but still the Rockies only scored 2. And then yesterday, the 4-3 game.
Again, it's been since July the 20th, the last time the Rockies have scored at least 7 in a game. That was the 11-10 slugfest one down in Phoenix.
I'm getting hungry for tacos. We need one of those 7-8 runs so we get some tacos the next day.
You bet. Like the pitch yesterday that grazed Nolan.
This is when he was hit by Kyle Crick.
Mid-90s fastball that was up and in. 2-2. And a base hit to center field. Good start. Nolan's 3 for 3.
Fans, you can drop off any new or gently used children's books at your neighborhood UPS store and receive 2 complimentary Rockies tickets to a select game in September. A couple tickets to a game, but importantly, you help out some kids with some children's books.
Story, a fly ball to center and a strikeout. 24 home runs and 79 driven in. Inside.
Rockies bullpen. Yesterday, clean inning of work.
Here's the 1-0 to Trevor, swung on and missed. Stripling goes 6 innings. He's on the plus side now after the home runs. Gives up just a run on 4 hits, couple walks, couple strikeouts. 77 pitches for Stripling. Two and one. Pedro Baez, raised in the Dodger organization, first got to the big leagues in 2014. Broken bat.
Baez missed almost a month earlier this year with some bicep tendonitis.
Two and two on Trevor. Four singles and a double tonight for the Rockies. Nolan has the RBI double. One out as Trevor goes down for the second time this evening. And that'll bring up David Dahl.
David Dahl with that base hit in the 5th inning, kind of a little bit of a milestone for him, as it was his career hit number 100. As he pulls the ball past the diving Brian Dozier for a single to right field.
Nolan at first, one out. Outside ball one on David. Ultra aggressive guy at the plate.
I like that they didn't try to take that away from him. You know, some guys are who they are. Even the other day when he hit leadoff, Buddy was saying, nope, you just stay what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, Buddy was emphatic to him because David went to him and he said, do you want me to be something different? He goes, absolutely not. Should you keep that same approach? Look at some of the high quality leadoff hitters. Of course, the Rockies have a great one in Charlie. Charlie's far more selective, but you look at Matt Carpenter, who's having a phenomenal year. Hit another home run yesterday. He's got 31 home runs. I mean, he comes up to the plate swinging. It's hard to get a deep count against Carpenter, but he's a leadoff guy. 1-2.
That whole leadoff role has kind of been, it's changed from what it was in the 80s and 90s with the guys that just trying to slap the ball and run.
It's a power game. We've had many discussions about it. Brian Dozier now hitting leadoff for the Dodgers. I mean, he's a super aggressive guy, leadoff guy for many years with Minnesota, hitting a lot of home runs. Foul back. Rockies have been on a nice run at home overall and inside the division after struggling inside the division and struggling overall at home. They've won 10 of their last 13 at Coors Field against the NL West. Foul back.
He's kind of shaking his head, that one.
That's a pitch you want back.
Yeah, it is, but still it's 97.
And we talk about, you go through periods, hitters will say, man, we've seen good pitching. And they'll also tell you at some point we have to stop tipping our cap.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going to see great pitching virtually every night at this level.
No doubt, and it just seems like too when you're not going well, you're scuffling, you're not getting the hit after hit. It's fouling balls off that you should have hit. That's what makes hitting so hard.
2-2. Good take.
Saw that out of the hand.
Yeah, that was a changeup. But from Baez's perspective, that was a good pitch. If he throws that above the belt, it may be a 3-3 game. So yeah, he missed with it. Good job by Dahl staying off it. But he doesn't want that in the hitter zone. 3-2 on David. Outside. Great at bat by Dahl. And now that pushes Arenado to second, and it brings up Ian Desmond. Guy who's had a number of big hits this year.
Right, he's also 2 for 7 against Baez in his previous times.
Desi tonight a walk in the third, and he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in the fifth. Ball one. That fastball out over the plate or the outer third is a pitch that Desi likes.
Well, because he could take it to right field. He really likes shooting it. We've seen a number of times in between first and second or into that right center field gap.
And it's 2-0.
Where you turn the big dog loose, though. Yeah, I mean, you're 2-0. Thinking about the fastball now.
Caleb Ferguson, one of 3 lefties in the bullpen for Dave Roberts, is getting loose. And that's for Gerardo Parra or Ryan McMahon. And then after Desmond, you have Chris Iannetta, and then the pitcher spot.
And then after that, you would have Charlie. So that's why they got the lefty getting loose.
Gerardo, 2-0. 2 on, 1 out. Rockies down 2 runs. And this is looped to center field, and it will drop. Good read by Nolan. He's coming home. Throw on the way. He's going to go back now. It'll be bases loaded for Chris Iannetta.
And I think that was right, too, because for Nolan, he couldn't tell if that was going to be able to get down, so he had to jockey in between second and third. He can't quite take off. He's kind of thinking, yeah, I can go, but then Chris Taylor, you know, he sees where the throw is. He made that decision on his own because Stu was waving him.
So Chris Iannetta, who was in a key spot yesterday and got robbed by Adam Frazier when he thought off the bat that he had tied up the game. Pinch hit yesterday with that ball that Frazier made the diving stop on at second at 107 miles an hour.
Single in his last time in the 5th inning, right down the line off the glove of Justin Turner.
And the big hit has been elusive for the Rockies of late. They need one here. Down 3-1. One out, Nolan at third, Dahl at second, Desmond at first. And this gets away. Here comes Nolan. Flip to the plate, safe. Everybody moves up. It's a one-run game.
That was wacky. This just clanked off of Grandal's glove. And then did get the big pitch back. Gets an underhand feed. Nolan's foot tags the bag. He kicks the ball away.
That is huge for the obvious reason that a run scored. But now there's no force out there.
Exactly. So you hit the ball. How did the Dodgers play it? Are they going to play back?
You know, it's interesting because Nolan on his own decided to stop halfway home on that single to center by Desmond. And yet it takes great courage to come home on any sort of wild pitch these days because you don't know if it's going to fire right back to the catcher.
That's what I was saying. The pitch back effect, it didn't happen there, so it dropped down. So one pitch later, he ends up scoring anyway.
1-0 on Iannetta. Parra's on deck. Infield is back. Conceding a run. You have terrific speed at third at Dahl, terrific speed at second at Desmond. You have got to get, at minimum, one of these guys to cross home plate. Outfield's very deep. This ball hit high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Chris Iannetta, 3-run jack. And the Rockies are out in front.
Well, he got the minimum in, but he got the maximum in as well. Wow, 8th home run. 26 RBIs for Chris. I love the fist pump as he's getting ready to hit first base. He was 102 miles an hour off the bat. He turns his fastball around on the Subaru Supermo. I was just a little concerned it might have too much topspin on it and not be able to get out. I knew it was going to get over the head of Peterson, but was it going to be able to get enough and get over the wall? Watch the fist pump though. Yes.
Man, oh man, is that what this club needed? Struggling for 3 weeks to get a big hit in a key situation. Iannetta, who was robbed yesterday, says, you know what? The heck with giving a fielder a chance. I'm going over the wall. 8th home run of the year for Chris. None bigger. 5-3 Colorado pitching change for LA.
run in his RBI. 24, 25, and 26 to give the Rockies a 5-3 lead over the Dodgers. Our Subaru stat has some of the numbers for Chris on that home run. Projected distance 394 feet, 102.2 miles an hour off the bat. But more importantly, the high fives in the dugout. That can't be measured after what he did give this ball club a much, much needed lead.
5-3 Colorado. Chris Iannetta earlier in the week snapped out of an 0 for 19 with a base hit. And now he's put the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th out in front by 2. Caleb Ferguson, again one of 3 lefties now in the bullpen for LA, and it's Ryan McMahon to pinch hit, not Parra. It would have been Parra if there was traffic, but he'll hold back Parra for later in the game if necessary. The 2 strikes. Ferguson's one of the 11 guys to have started a game this year for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and that's why you see some of the numbers as far as the strikeouts and innings pitched for Ferguson. Fastball, curveballs against the lefty.
Mentioned that Chris was 0 for 19 coming into ball game against the Pirates earlier in the week, so just 2 for 27 before blasting that 3-run shot. That's why you have to keep on grinding in a game of baseball, and when you're 35 and you've been around for more than a decade, you've had a lot of success, you understand that.
Even after that ball he hit yesterday.
3-2. That be the hit that unleashes a run by what should be a very talented offense. Good swing.
And that has been the hit that's been lacking. You can just tell the emotion when Chris gave that fist bump. Just release some of that. The high fives, that extra sting on those hands as he's going through the conga line in the dugout.
And then the Parra mugging. High ball 4. How about that? McMahon down 2 strikes, comes all the way back left on left. Keep the pressure on. And here comes Charlie.
Couple walks tonight by the Rockies, and then once they've been down 0-2 to come back. Carlos Gonzalez in the 4th inning did it.
Charlie 0 for 3. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's just the 2nd time in the month of August that the Rockies have scored 5 in a game. The other time was in Milwaukee when they won 5-4. They beat Corey Knebel late. It was a home run by Nolan.
That Sunday game where after they'd given up the 4-1 lead. But I'm not satisfied. I told you I want tacos. I'm hankering for tacos, so we need to get a couple more.
1-1 on Charlie.
That was wise by Ryan not to go on that curveball. It didn't scoot too far away from Grandal.
Four runs in on 3 hits here in the 7th. sharply hit the second. Dozier for one on the first. Double play. Third time the Rockies hit into a double play tonight. But they take the lead 5-3 on a 3-run Chris Iannetta home run against Pedro Baez. It was a 1-1 game, and then the pinch hitter John Peterson took Scott Oberg in the top of the 7th deep. And then another pinch hitter 2 hitters later, it's Max Muncy with his 25th. And all of a sudden it's 3-1. But then Chris Iannetta, Pedro Baez knew it. And the Rockies went from a 3-2 deficit at that point to a 5-3 lead they now enjoy. They need 6 outs. Iannetta, the man of the moment. And it'll be Sungwon Oh here in the 8th inning. Been outstanding in a Rockies uniform so far. He'll face Machado, Turner, Kemp. 3 right-handed hitters. This year he's been really tough on righties. Machado takes a slider for a strike. Manny in his first ball game at Coors Field, 2 singles and a strikeout. That work against Tyler Anderson, who pitched exceptionally well. Anderson gave up just a run on 4 hits, a walk and 6 strikeouts.
Machado's never seen O before. You're talking about, you know, right-handers this year, Drew, against O. 167.
That's pretty good. 1-2. Swung on and missed, 1 out in the 8th. That'll bring up Justin Turner. A line out, a single, and he was robbed of a double. There goes a bat. They're not making him the same way. Used to just be like the Puigs and the Bo Jacksons of the world that break it over their leg. I mean, Manny's a big, strong guy. I'm kidding,
but still, he made that look like it was a toothpick.
Huey, back in your day, you didn't want to try to do that because not only would you gotten hurt, but the clubby would have been mad at you because you had to order some more bats.
I would have been embarrassed too.
That's a curveball for strike 2. Turner 1 for 3. He had a double taken away by Nolan. That's what I was getting to in the 6th inning. And he's gone on 3 pitches.
7 pitches to get the first 2 outs on strikeouts and 2 tough guys. This is a slider, disappears from Justin Turner.
Here's Kemp. Curveball's high. Kemp tonight, strikeout, fly out, ground out, 0 for 3. Good pitch. Little drop down slider, 1-1.
It's the feel of manipulating the baseball, different arm angles for O. Different speeds too on all of his pitches.
Another slider, 2-1.
Still can get it there 92 with the fastball, so you use slow, and then he speeds you up.
And from guys that have faced O, his fastball plays up because it's deceptive and it's a quick arm, short arm. 2-2. Crowd was ready to stand up and cheer, but Kemp got a little piece of it.
This is what August and September baseball is about.
You got a crowd.
This is fun.
Yeah, north of 43,000 tonight on a Thursday game, 1 of 4 with the Dodgers. Huge series, 2-2. This ball is well hit left center field, and it's going to take one hop and go over the wall. It'll be a ground rule double, and that'll bring up Cody Bellinger. I don't think you were going to get through a game without Matt Kemp getting a hit at Coors Field, did you?
No. I don't care what the numbers were coming in, but it's Matt Kemp. Had success in his career against the Rockies here at Coors Field.
So Bellinger, he's 0 for 3. 2 outs. The Rockies shift Story slightly to the right side. This ball's well hit right center field. Bellinger has just tied it up. 19th home run for Cody Bellinger, and it's 5-5. Boy, that happened quickly.
Yes, it did. 2 pitches, double homer.
Uh-oh. Giving up his first runs in a Rockies uniform. Dominated Machado and Turner, and then the 2-strike home run, or excuse me, double to Kemp, and then this swing.
And he missed his spot. Wanted to go away to Bellinger, and he did, left it inside third. Well, we mentioned the Dodgers and their ability to hit the long ball.
That's what they do. Better than anybody else in the National League.
It's 159 home runs for the Dodgers.
And now Jock Peterson, who put them in front with the pinch hit home run in the 7th, and stayed in the ball game in left field. You were hoping, if you were Buddy Black, that O would naturally have a 1-2-3 inning, but it was all right-handed batters, and he has been dominant against righties, but lefties have an OPS of 871 against him this year versus 450 for righties. So it's been a little bit of an issue for O. Two and one.
It's the 3rd home run he's given up to a left-handed batter. Just 6 total on the year.
Three and one. Wade Davis. On the ground, foul past George Lombard. Again, that happened quickly because he had everybody behind him after quickly dispatching of Machado and Turner.
When he had 2 strikes on Kemp, too. He just had 1 pitch away.
Jock Peterson, who kind of took certainly the West Coast by storm a few years ago when he came up hitting a lot of home runs. Then he struggled making contact. He's made some adjustments this year.
Changed his hand positioning. He's getting a little bit lower now.
And he walks. And now you have Grandal coming up, switch hitter. And you can see O is frustrated. Buddy's coming out. And Eugene Koo's not coming with him, which means this is going to be a pitching change, I would assume. Buddy hasn't made a move just yet. And there it is. Again, if he was just going to talk to him, Eugene Koo, his interpreter, would have come along. Tied at 5. 2 outs, 1 on in the top of the 8th. Nothing easy these days.
Will collect donations of new and gently used baseball and softball equipment at all gates. Help support the Denver Public Schools baseball program. Give low-income students an opportunity to play baseball. So that's tomorrow at all gates prior to the Dodgers-Rockies game. On the ball game, Wade Davis, 51st game of the year, and Bud's going to ask him to get this last out of the inning and then save it in the 9th. That's the way I'm looking at this. And you might be wondering, folks, we got word that Adam Ottavino's a little under the weather tonight.
Yeah, Adam Ottavino's sick. He's not available tonight. And, you know, typically your closer's going to be in there in the 9th inning at home if you're tied or obviously ahead. It's now a 5-5 game, so Ottavino, or excuse me, so Davis will try to get this out. And then, as Louis was alluding to, hopefully the Rockies can score in the bottom of the 8th inning. First things first, it's Grandal with Peterson, who can run at first. Ball 1. Davis had the 2 blown saves last week, and then he had a dominant save on Monday against the Pirates. 1-2-3 inning, couple strikeouts. And that misses him. That has been an issue for Wade this year. He has fallen behind too many hitters. Grandal is 3 for 5 with a home run against Davis. Two and one. A walk and 2 strikeouts this evening for Grandal. Peterson started to go.
He was leaning.
He shut it down. That's why Neto went back to first. Pitch was a strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, he was jumping off at first. He just didn't feel comfortable going.
He thought he read it wrong, Huey. You've been in that situation. He actually read it right.
He did. If he would have kept going, I think he would have got it. But there's just that fear factor when you take off that early. It's like something's not right here. And so your brain tells you to shut it down.
Davis trying to make one more pitch. 2-2 on Grandal. 3-2.
I think Desi's going to play this one all the way back, so it's going to give Jock Peterson at first an extra 5 or 6 steps off the bag, but you do that because you got the left-handed hitter in Grandal. Give you more range.
3-2. And this is bounced towards Story, and he'll make the play. In the inning, a 2-run, 2-out home run by Cody Bellinger. And we're tied at 5. It'll be LeMahieu, Cargo, and Arenado when we come back. Tonight's Fun Cam brought to you by the Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. Rockies had fun in the 8th inning, at least in the bottom half, in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They want to have fun in the bottom half of the 8th inning. They scored 4 to take a 5-3 lead. But the 2-run home run by Bellinger has evened this thing up. Caleb Ferguson remains out there. DJ's 0 for 3. Hit the ball hard his last time up. A line shot to center field. It was just straight up center field. And with the shift on, Kike Hernandez had to run about 60-70 feet to make the catch. Here's the 1-0. And that's lined right out. Dozier went out. That'll bring up Cargo. Cargo's 0 for 2 and a walk. Scored back in the 4th inning.
I know it's no consolation for DJ because he's hitting 0 for 4, but his last 2 balls he's hit squarely. One you're talking about the line out to center, and he couldn't hit that one any better. Dozier was just positioned right there.
Top 3 guys in the lineup tonight are 0 for 10. With the 1 walk being Cargo's in the 4th with 2 outs, and he would score on an Arenado double. Nolan, who's in the on deck circle, is 3 for 3. 3 of the Rockies' 7 hits. Cargo with a base hit the other way.
He was thinking stay inside that baseball the whole time. Take what the pitcher's going to give you.
1 out, 1 on for Nolan. Fans follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a game. Hopefully tonight's the night. It's been a while. Been way too long. So Nolan facing Ferguson. Best hitter in baseball against lefties this year at .415.
And not that they could have done anything, they didn't really have time, but there's nobody warming up for the Dodgers. I was thinking they might go with the lefty the first couple guys and then bring in a right-hander. I'm not doing that.
2-0. 3-0. The Rockies, if anybody's faced Ferguson before, Cargo had, Nolan had.
Just looking at the notes, there's his first look at him.
Well, this is the first of 4. We're in early August. You better buy a couple of bottles of Tums. 3 and 1. Because I'm telling you, folks, I'm talking to myself right now, just speaking out loud.
Let's just bring some for tomorrow. How about Buddy, though? We have the trainer run back to the training room.
(3-1). Went off speed, 3-2.
I don't think he'll challenge him. I think he'll go off speed.
I think you're going to see that again.
He'll go off speed again.
One out, Cargo at first. Will he run here? Nope. And this ball's in the air, left center field. It's playable. Cargo tagging, trying to get the scoring position. He's got to shut it down. That's a great throw by Taylor. He was right on the bag on 1 hop. And Cargo had the luxury, Huey, of reading that throw in the air because it's all right in front of him. If he reads offline, he's going to keep going.
That was everything that you want to do as a base runner. And Nolan knows he just missed this ball right off the end of the bat. Not done yet. You got Trevor come up. Pick up your teammate.
0 for 3, fly ball to center, and a couple of strikeouts for Story. He's got a 6-game hitting streak going. Story hitting .303 against Southpaws. Here's the 1-0. Down the right field line, out of play. Davis at the top of the ninth. 5-5 or otherwise. We'll see Chris Taylor, a pinch hitter, probably Yasiel Puig, and then Brian Dozier. Ball and 2 strikes.
18 miles an hour difference between the last fastball he saw and then that curveball at 76.
One and two. Cargo at first. There's 2 outs. We're tied at 5. Bottom of 8.
Dodgers playing deep and left and center. Keeps playing a normal position out in right, not too deep.
Good eye, 3 and 2. So now you'll get movement on the bases. And in the 4th inning, this is how the Rockies scored. Cargo was at first running with a 3-2 pitch, and Nolan doubled down the left field line, and Cargo scored all the way from first.
A little different for Cargo, even with the 3-2 though, because you have to make sure with the left-hander that he doesn't pick over there, because they're going to hold him on. You gotta wait that extra
step and a half
yeah.
that it'll cost you in terms of your jump.
Exactly.
This is far off, dumped into right field. Fair ball. Cargo will get to third, and Stu's gonna stop him there after a wide turn. Masterfully done by Stu Cole, because he wanted to read how the ball was fielded and what kind of throw came in before he flashed the stop sign. 2nd and 3rd with Dahl coming up.
Just fight one off and lead it in down the right field line, but it goes back to the point we were talking about, Drew. He really didn't get that running lead. See how he had to wait until that ball was delivered.
Plus you got a slide step also on the
that's
delivery.
Right. So he got a lot of things happening right there, but I'm with you. Stu did the absolute right thing. He came as far down the line as he could to read that, to see what Kemp was going to be able to do. Well, we've already seen Caleb Ferguson bounce a few curveballs.
A lot of pressure on Grandal. David Dahl has swung it well. Line out, single, and a walk tonight. Trying to give the Rockies the lead again. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Fastball, strike 1. Broken back, bouncer to second. Dozier will throw out Dahl, and the threat is nullified. So we go to the 9th. The Rockies 5 and the Dodgers 5.
Post-game show, Jenny Kavanaugh with Corey Sullivan. Would you expect anything else? We called this the biggest series of the season, which would start with game number 1, and here you go, even them up.
This is an absolute title fight. These guys are throwing haymakers right and left. This is exactly what you expect. All 43,000 fans are still here, still enjoying the game, and I can't wait to see how the Rocks win it.
She wants a win.
She does want
She told me earlier she wants a win, and so do we. We'll see you guys right after the game for the Toyota post-game show.
All right, guys, it'll be Chris Taylor leading off. Wade Davis was summoned to get the final out of the 8th inning after Song Wan-Oh got the first 2 outs impressively in the 8th, striking out Machado and Turner. Then Kemp hit a ground rule double, and the very next pitch was to Cody Bellinger, and he hit it a mile to right center to tie it up. Taylor tonight, a sac fly. 0 for 2 otherwise. This ball's well hit left center field, and this one is gone. 4th home run of the night for the Dodgers, and they take a 6-5 lead. Taylor's 13th of the year.
And they've all come in the last 3 innings. He hit the 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, now 1 here in the 9th. That was a curveball. It's kind of stunned at what's happened here with the long ball from the Dodgers.
Puig is the pinch hitter, and he is a very aggressive guy typically, and he fires at the first pitch. 0-1. One of the perplexing things for the Rockies all season long has been the problems with what on paper should be a terrific bullpen. As I like to say, they have all the right names rolling out of there. Guys that have had a lot of success for a long period of time in pressure situations. Guys that have pitched in October. Guys that have won world championships. 1-1, and that's a base hit. Downstairs to Ryan Spilborg. Spilly.
Well, guys, when the Rockies go up to bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, we may not see Kenley Jansen. Alana Rizzo, the Dodgers reporter, tweeted out earlier that Kenley Jansen, just like Adam Ottavino, is under the weather tonight and unavailable. Guys?
So it looks like it's going to be Floro. Floro's been working lately as one of the setup men for Jansen.
Oh, they also got Scott Alexander, the left-hander.
He could mix and match. Alexander, another guy that has been working late in ball games. Rockies are familiar with Alexander. Brian Dozier at the plate. First things first, you got to keep it a 1-run game right now if you're Wade.
After that last home run, now it's Ryan Shaw in the Rockies bullpen.
One and out. And now you have Alexander up.
About 6 pitches now for Brian. He hopped up in a hurry after the base hit by Puig.
Puig's a threat to run at first. Eight out of 11. That's going to cost the Rockies 90 feet. Puig to second. Wild pitch. It was a swing by Dozier, so it's 1-2. But now Puig, with nobody out, is at second base.
Ball hopped all the way over the fence behind home plate.
Was that a cross up? Because
well, I think
Chris kind of reached for it instead of opening up trying to block it.
you know, he went out immediately afterwards. So
I mean, I don't know, but why would there be a cross up with a runner at first?
Yeah, maybe they're just going over the signs now with Puig at second.
That was weird. 2-2. And sometimes the catcher on that breaking ball, you think it's going to get to you,
and it doesn't quite, so you end up reaching for it backhand instead of dropping and blocking it.
2-2 on Dozier. Two. And this ball is hit a tumble left. And this is going to get out. 5 home runs from the 7th inning on. You got to be kidding me. 8-5. 3rd home run for Dozier since he came from Minneapolis.
His 9th RBI. That gives him 19 home runs on the season. Curveball backs up and Dozier doesn't miss it.
(8-5) LA. Shaw come on and replace Davis when we come back to Coors Field.
Now pitching for the Rockies, number 29, Brian Shaw.
Thousands at home were elated after Chris Iannetta, with the Rockies down 3-1, capped off a 4-run rally in the 7th with a 3-run home run. And the Rockies were up by a couple of runs. They needed 6 outs to shake hands, and now all of a sudden they're down 8-5 in the 9th. Shaw gets a strike on Machado. 2 for 4 tonight for Machado.
Just in the last 2 innings, it's been 7 hits and 7 runs.
5 home runs.
I know.
And it seems like ages ago, but Tyler Anderson kept this very fine offense of the Dodgers at bay. He allowed just 1 run in 6 innings, just 4 hits. Walked 1, struck out 6. He pitched a beautiful ball game. Oberg gave up 2 solo home runs in the 7th. He actually, even though he gave up the 2 runs, was in line for what would have been his 8th victory of the year without a defeat. And pitched 2/3 of an inning, struck out 2, Machado and Turner, and then the Kemp double, the Bellinger home run tied it. And now here in the 9th, Wade Davis home run to Taylor on the first pitch of the inning, single by Puig, 2-run home run by Dozier.
Wade's ERA goes up to 5.51 now.
Yeah, we've said it many times. You just keep waiting for, the seasons to turn a little bit for, the guys in the bullpen that have been so good historically, where, they flip it around. You go on a run for a bullpen guy where, you make 18, 19, 20 appearances, and, 98% of them are really good ones.
Yeah, you give up maybe a run.
That's it.
Maybe
yeah.
2.
Those guys are capable of it, but unfortunately, it has not been happening. Here's a strikeout of Machado. 3rd time he struck out tonight. 1 gone. That'll bring up Turner. The Rockies are going to need some Lodo magic in the 9th inning.
They haven't had one of those games where it's been down by 3 runs or so, and they break somebody else's heart.
Turner's 1 for 4. He takes ball 1. That's a base hit for Turner. Bring up Matt Kemp. Rockies began the night 3 back of Arizona, 2.5 back of LA in the competitive NL West.
Arizona's off tonight. Two teams in the division. San Diego beat Milwaukee tonight 8-4, and Pittsburgh currently leading San Francisco 3-2.
Got a pop up, retreating is Story. That's the 2nd out. That'll bring up Bellinger.
This guy that really turned the tide in the 8th inning with 2 outs. First pitch that he saw from he took it out. That's the one that tied this game up. 2 quick outs and the double by Kemp and 2 pitches. You went from a 5-3 lead to tied up 5-5 with his 19th home run of the season.
Hard ground ball, base hit for Bellinger. Turner will head to 3rd.
This comes off the bag, but it's ripped past him.
That'll bring up Jock Peterson, the 8th man to hit here in the 9th. Again, the inning began with the Rockies and Dodgers tied at 5. Since Anderson left the ball game, 7 runs have been scored by the Dodgers in the last 2 2/3.
2 against Oberg, 2 against O, and then 3 against Davis.
Here goes the runner at first, and Bellinger will swipe second. 1-1.
8 stolen base, Bellinger.
And that's not, it turns into a giveaway bag, but you're not trying to give that bag away.
No.
If you get an out there, you'll take that out.
Still just down by 3 as you head to the bottom of the 9th.
It's not like you have a flyer on third. Justin Turner.
Clubs are always thinking that 4 runs. Yeah, so if he loops one in or just drives one in, then you're down by 5 as you head to the 9th.
One and 2. That cutter at 95, but it's that east-west movement we've discussed before that Brian's trying to get a little bit more of that depth. So the swing either swings over the top of it, or if they make contact, it's more of a a meek kind of ground ball. That's what he's done so much in the past in Cleveland. 1-2, and he gets good hard cutter in. 2 are left on, but 3 runs scored in the inning. Home run by Taylor, 2-run home run by Dozier. 8-5 going to the bottom of the 9th. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Well, it's been a roller coaster of a ride tonight for the Rockies. And unfortunately, right now with 3 outs to go, they're down 8-5. Yasiel Puig stays in the ball game for Kemp in right field. Scott Alexander will be asked to get the save for LA, and trying to disrupt that process will be Ian Desmond initially. It'll be Desmond, Iannetta, and then you'll have a pinch hitter. 7, 8, 9 for the Rockies. 4 of their 5 runs scored in the 7th when they took a brief 5-3 lead. Strike 1 from Alexander, another hard throwing lefty.
He's allowed just 11 runs in his 40 innings since being recalled back on May 9th. He's had a save during that time. This isn't familiar territory for him. See how he handles it. It's a Whole different animal when you're the setup guy or you're coming in the 7th inning and trying to lock down a game. We've seen it a number of times.
Five runs, 9 hits, an error for the Rockies. 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors for Los Angeles. 1-1 on Desmond. Twice, a walk and a single. Scored in the 7th. On the 3-run home run by Iannetta, who's on deck. Rockies began today 23-23 this year against the NL West. 1 out in the 9th. This series has been hyped on both sides. In Los Angeles as well. I think from LA's perspective, the things we were hearing from them, they knew it's a huge series. Since they began the day 2.5 up, they felt like they could get considerable separation from the Rockies if they had a big weekend. The Rockies knew that they could, with a big weekend, perhaps move past the Dodgers or nestle up right next to them, and it's still very much possible, even if this game does not end up in the W column. But you're trying to set the tone. The Rockies had an opportunity to set the right tone.
When the Dodgers go back home to play the Giants, Rockies go out on the road after this 4-gamer to Houston and Atlanta. So yeah, you want to set the tone tonight. If it doesn't work, you still got 3 games left, and a chance to turn around, but this one was going to sting.
Well, there's been too many lately, you know, if you're going to be objective, that, you know, the game against Pittsburgh on Tuesday, those happen.
Yes.
Lost 10-2. Those are much easier, as you would know better than anybody, for a player to figuratively wash off, move on to the next day. Losses like several last week linger.
Well, and then this one too. Good job, Chris.
Yeah, this one's not done. Base hit, Iannetta.
That's what I'm saying. You know, Alexander hadn't been in this spot before.
Pat Valleca's going to pitch hit. Again, as we so often say, when you're late in the game, you're down by a couple, or in this case 3. You're just trying to get somehow the tying run to the plate. Ball 1 on Pat. The other thing, at some point, the Rockies are too talented not to have some of their own stealing a victory from the jaws of defeat. This is up the middle, but it's grabbed at second by Dozier on the first. Double play. 4th they've turned tonight. That will end the ball game. A very disappointing night for the Rockies, given the fact that they took a 5-3 lead to the 8th inning, but could not close out LA. As the Dodgers played ping pong with the seats, they hit 5 home runs against the Colorado bullpen, And they win game one of this 4-game set. The final score 8-5 to center field. We go. Here's Jenny Kavanaugh. Jenny.
All right, Drew, thank you very much. Jeff Houston said it best. This one's going to sting. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's going to. When you give up 7 runs after the start of the 7th inning, it never feels good. You fought back to get to 5-3, and then unfortunately you lose the ball game.
We'll have plenty more coming up on the Toyota post-game show. Hope you stick with us. We'll also get you inside the clubhouse.